McNallen, her addiction to buying clothes really was anything but a joke.
In just 4 years, she spent £200,000 on that addiction. It eventually cost her marriage. She nearly lost her home, very nearly lost her sanity. She's here now this morning, along with hypnotherapist Marisa Peer. And it all started, Helen, after you left your job. I would have thought, well, if you're going to start spending, do it while you're earning some money. Was that strange?
Well, I was very happy in my job, and it was a high-powered job in the city. So I didn't feel the need. There was nothing lacking in my life. I was quite happy, and I had a buzz, and I worked very hard.
On good money?
Yeah, good money, yes. Long hours, you know, 6 in the morning until late at night.
What did you do?
I was a trader.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, with all the boys in the city.
That's very high pressure.
Yeah. But it was good fun. We worked really hard, and then we played really hard. So
why did you give that up?
I worked too hard for too long. It was 10 years, and put all my eggs in one basket. I didn't have a family. Everything was my work. And when I had a breakdown and left work, there was a huge void. I had no family, no children. I had a very supportive husband, but I just felt a failure, particularly because working in the city, I didn't feel like I could admit what my problem was, the breakdown. Working with all the men, I had a huge issue about that anyway, and I had to fill it with something. So I filled it with majorly shopping and also food.
Yes, but you weren't earning the same money as you were earning before, so you knew this was a law of diminishing returns here.
Absolutely, that was the problem. Yeah.
So when it started, when you say I filled it with shopping, did it start off just like, oh, I haven't got anything to do today, my husband's at work,
no.
I'll just tootle off to the shops, and then it kind of grew and grew, or did it happen quite quickly?
Funnily enough, when I was really low, the only thing I used to get out of bed for, seriously, was this programme. I used to time it to 28 minutes past 10, jump out of bed and watch this programme. That was the only thing in my life. But then I became bipolar, and it's the manic highs, and I was trying to control my mood with shopping. So and that's when the problem started.
When you hit the shops, did you go out looking for anything particular? Did you care what you spent? What feelings did you get?
I was looking for a high that I used to get from my job, and the feel of importance. I thought people looked down on me. I felt like a failure when I lost my job, and I wanted to make it appear. When you're working, I didn't need to show that I was happy with what I had, but when I didn't have it, I felt I had to show people that I was still what I was, because I didn't feel I was what I was.
Because I know you know, a lot of stores offer, excuse me, personal shoppers.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And you said you loved that because that kind of made you quite...
Well, I thought that was very exciting. I did a film once, and I got a personal shopper showing me around the
They're
store.
great.
And I have to say, I thought to myself, now this is the business. I could see how
with
you
your
get
coffee
off on
and
this.
your champagne.
Yes, and they bring, the thing is about a personal shopper is, you say, do you know, I fancy a shirt. Do you have any blue ones? And they come and they go and get every blue one in your size.
And you like everything.
And they bring it to you. You do nothing. You don't sweat walking around. You don't get sore feet. You don't get anything, do you?
So what would you have spent in a day? At your worst, what would you have spent in a day?
I would go into the personal shopping and come out having spent £4,000 a time. Yeah. And my poor husband was
so then you go, you know, most of us know we go home, we hide things in the boot of the car, wait till he's gone and shove it upstairs and they're not looking.
Do we?
Not myself, clearly not.
The boot of the car.
Yeah. So were you hiding things from him? When did he realise that this was becoming such a big problem?
Well, he saw the account, you know, diminishing, the funds in the account, and I had to remortgage the property, and credit cards, and overdrafts.
And we're talking here, I mean, if I've got this right, your remortgage was £100,000.
It was actually more than that in a shorter period of time, yeah.
Tell you what, your husband must have loved you.
He is a saint, actually.
Yes. Yeah, he did. Now, at what stage did Marisa come in and all this? When did you arrive on the scene, Marisa?
Helen's doctor sent me to her. When she came to me, I mean, poor Helen, she was suicidal.
But you don't go to the doctor and say, Doctor, I've got this terrible trouble, I spent money all the time. Is it dressed up as something else?
It was the bipolar manic depression.
Right.
Her doctor sent her to me with depression, suicidal depression. I mean, she was in a terrible, terrible state. So her big problem was depression. But, of course, when you're a therapist, you don't work with one problem. You look for the cause of the problem. And Helen was 3 stone heavier than she is now. She was shopping every single day. I mean, she'd go out and buy 10 pairs of sunglasses or 20 pairs of shoes. But she was so depressed, I mean, and I really felt for her. And so, because there was so much, it's like all different branches of a tree, I immediately was trying to look for what was the cause of everything, because you'll find with lots of symptoms, they all go back to the same cause. And in Helen's
excuse me
case,
for asking, without breaching any confidentiality or anything, is that something you can tell us what that cause was?
Oh, yeah. With Helen, it was very simple. She just didn't feel that she was enough. I mean, it sounds such a silly problem, but it's the cause of so many people's problems. I mean, I lecture and I have a book, and one of the chapters in it is about being enough, and people write to me and say, you know what? When I read that bit about how to be enough, it changed my life. And so she didn't feel enough.
You see, you've just said that, and I would reckon 7 out of 10 people watching this morning will say, do you know what? That's me. That's me.
Of course.
Why do people... Why are people afraid of disappointing? Because no matter what they are in real life, whether they're arrogant, whether they're funny, whatever show they put on about it, it appears to be deep down there's this insecurity coming from where?
Not feeling good enough, not feeling lovable enough.
Is this our society? Is this media?
Yeah,
is this
you know, if you went to
magazine?
live in a tribe, you wouldn't feel like that, because we live in a society where you're a product, and if you're a product, you've got to have all the products. So you've got to have the latest bag or the latest car, and then a year later, you don't want that latest bag. You've got to have another bag, or you've just got these jeans and now they're dated. So it isn't just about fashion.
And as Helen was saying, you know, work defines quite a lot of us. So that thing, you know, and a lot of women I know, friends of mine who've given up work to have children, although they wanted to and they love their kids, suddenly just feel different because they don't have that getting up and going to work that kind of makes you feel worthy somehow.
Yeah, so if it isn't what you do, then it becomes who you are, and so who you are is defined by what you look like, what you wear, what label you have on. I mean, you know, I work with 12-year-olds who now have got this thing about they've got to look right and dress right, and so it sounds very simple to peel our problems back to not being enough, but when you know that you're enough, you don't need more.
So you found out that you were enough, and fairly quickly, it seems, from your session.
It's a shame I didn't do that earlier, because it maybe could have...
Who flicked the switch, or how was the switch flicked?
I woke up in hospital, basically, and when I finally realised that my marriage was nearly over and I was sent to Marisa, it kind of snowballed. I didn't realise I was going through the process of being cured, because I actually didn't realise I was ill. It took me a long time to realise I was ill. I was in denial, and my husband was saying to me, you've got to stop spending, and I thought he was picking on me.
So what's life now? Is that like being on a constant diet? I know you did lose weight as well, but I mean, to go out into a shop and see a handbag, sunglasses, a dress, anything.
Looking back, I feel very lucky to have come through this, because I do feel whatever normal is these days, and I didn't realise how ill I was. It's taken people to tell me. I'm very grateful to my parents-in-law, my sisters-in-law, you know, my family, friends. They've all been there all the way through. And I've written a book, and you don't realise, and people have had to tell me, because I had a lot of ECT, electrical convulsive therapy treatment, which erases your short-term memory sometimes. And I myself didn't realise how bad it was. But looking back on what people have told me and writing the book, people just feel so... I know a lot of people watching this would probably, because that's what I used to do when I was so down. I used to watch you. And you don't believe in the light at the end of the tunnel. You really, really do not. But there is.
And why is there? Was it the therapy itself?
The therapy was amazing. Sometimes you have to be in the right place. Therapy's great. To receive it. And Marissa's voice in itself was enough to... As soon as I walked through her doors, calmed me instantly. The therapy, I've never experienced hypnotherapy before, didn't know what to expect. So bizarrely, I couldn't open my eyes. I thought I can open my eyes, but you can't open your eyes, and
Are you cured, or have you to keep being...
No,
tap up?
Only told me 4 times. No. I made her a lot of tapes, and I made her say every day when she woke up, I'm enough, I'm enough. I made her write it on her mirror. And no, she saw me 4 times.
Are you happy?
And you truly believe you're enough now?
I truly believe I'm enough. Obviously, my marriage has fallen apart, which I can't change, but I'm happy in myself now, and I'm moving forward.
Are you still in debt?
No,
well, that's good. I mean, you're a slim woman, you look well, you're not in debt, you're single. I mean,
I've lost my weight,
you know,
I'm
it's not,
fit.
and you don't cost too much. So it's good. It's
not
bad. Any offers? ITV.com this morning at ITV. We'll get all this sorted out, don't worry.
Thanks.
Helen, absolutely amazing to hear your story. Continue to be well, and it's a fantastic work from you. Thank you very much.
Well, anyone can do it. I mean, the great thing is that you don't have to take lots of drugs. If you go to a good therapist, and especially work on this thing about being enough, anyone can be helped, and very quickly too, if you go to the right person.
We're going to talk to your GP, as we say, because they can refer you as
Absolutely,
well,
don't be
so
afraid
just
to. The
admit it.
stigma's that's why the stigma's getting less and less. Please, yeah, the doctors are there. You go for a cold, so why wouldn't you go when you're feeling really, really depressed?
Good